This tutorial is for high school for entering your final grades for semester 1 as well as the final course grade. So the first thing that you'll need to do is go up into your classes and make sure that you're in secondary and you've selected the course that you'd like to give your final grades for. Once you've done that, you will check your reporting term to make sure that you are in semester 2. You could be in all if you wanted to see all the assignments. Just make sure you're not in the semester 1 one. So once I'm in semester 2, I have all my assignments in that I will be using to trend my grades. One thing to take note is that you must do the grade setup for every semester. So you've done the first one with Jawan on your one-on-one session for the first semester, and hopefully you've done semester 2 and the final one. Remember, this is just when we change from total points to term weights or standard weights, which is what will indicate students' final grade for your course for each of those standards. So I need to add my standards on here, and you don't select any of the learning behaviors or the course name, only the academic standards. And this indicates that you want these to influence the final grade, and that will be calculated automatically for you. And we can make sure we save that, and then do the same thing for the F1. So I'm going to go back into that grade setup, and then let's do it for F1. So I have my term weights and standards and all my standards selected. I would say that is the one mistake that we often make, is forgetting to tell how you want gradebook to score our final grades. So let's go back into my score sheet, and I can see already that I've given all the grades to my assignments, and so that I'm ready to do my final trending. When I'm ready to give each student their final trended grade, I click on the student view, and you can see here I have one student at a time, and all I need to do is go through and trend down. I use filters, so I'm going to turn on the filter for just the summative because those are the ones that I grade from. And if I don't have enough information or enough indicators, I might turn the formatives on. So I just made this really simple for me here. You don't have to worry about the little red mark that comes in the corner. That just means that the teacher has made the decision on the trending of these grades. So as I trend along here, you can see that a final score is being calculated. And maybe you notice that when you're trending, you're also getting a percentage here. If you don't want to see that percentage, and I have that turned off for myself, and if you do see that percentage and you want to have it off, you can just go up to your grade book and to your preferences, and make sure that you say in grading that you don't want to see the percentage here. So if you just uncheck those, then down here that percentage will go away. Another thing I like to hide when I'm doing this is the mean, the weighted mean, the median. I'm just trending with my professional judgment for this. So I'm going to hide that as well. So you trended all the academics, and you also do need to trend your learning behaviors. So I'm going to give this student these learning behavior grades. Remember when we did progress reports, we had to make sure there was assignment attached for the learning behaviors, and the reason for that is because Jawan's system just opens up our grade book here. These grades are what is indicated on the final one, and let me show you what that looks like on the report card here. So just as a friendly reminder, this is our report card, and when we trend that final section down here, this final score, this entire row is what is pulled from, that data is pulled, and it's given here into this column. So if that helps you to understand that at all. So once you have your trended grade for your first student, you can just navigate to the second student with this little arrow. Make sure you save your work, and then I can go ahead and I can trend this student, and you can navigate to the next student as well. So I like to use that page for this. Now, the next step is to do your comments. So as you're working through, you may choose to do your comments, and I can see the C here is indicating the comments column here in student view, and I could just click on here, and I could use my comment bank to create my comments, and I can close that out. However, you can also do your comments in the final grade section, which, remember, we put our comments in for the progress report, and they will need to be erased first. And so I like this view, this final grades view, to right click and say clear my comments. Now you probably have them saved on a Google Doc So you're fine with that. So I'm going to delete all my comments, and then you can start adding them again, because we only get to pull comments from this one column when they go on the report card. And remember, when we put them on the report card, they go right down below your subject level. So you can clear your comments, double click in each person's box. If you're using a comment bank, you'll just have to double click on the comments that you want to include, and it will automatically change that person's name and say his or her. Again, you can use these arrows to go through each of your students and give them the comments that they need. After you've finished adding all the grades into your assignments, you went into Student View and you trended all the students' final grade for the report card, and you went into Final Grades and added all the comments to your students. It's time to give your F1 grade. So I'm going to switch over to F1 now. And what I think we find kind of difficult is when you're doing the student view of F1, you have to give a final grade down here. However, you don't have the other information. To fix that, you can simply click on Terms, and you can see what did you give to the student the first semester and the second semester to help you with your F1 grade. Usually it will be just the same as with standard-based grading, the final grade that they got. However, you are able to use your professional judgment on if there was something covered in the first semester that greatly influences their final grade. Again, you have the power to add in all those grades yourself. So you only need to give final grades for the academics, because on our report card you can see that final achievement grades are only given in our reporting categories, not in our learning behaviors. So that final grade piece is right here. As soon as you save that, you are all set and ready to go. Hope this was helpful.